Hey everyone, today we have something really cool in for review. Ford Canada sent us the brand new 2023 Ford Mach-E GT Performance Edition electric vehicle to put through its paces. Now the standard Mach-E and the Mach-E GT are very different vehicles. If you're looking for a normal electric vehicle, the Mach-E with a single electric motor is plenty. However, you want to push it to the limit and drive Ford's flagship non-gas performance sports car, the Mach-E GT is the one for you. The Mach-E GT is so fast it'll send you to the shadow realm if you don't respect its power. You can easily do 0 to 60 under 4 seconds thanks to 480 horsepower and a mind-boggling 630 foot-pounds of torque. Unlike gas cars, this power is instantaneously on. The GT badge for Ford is roughly the M badge or maybe AMG for BMW and Mercedes respectively. What that means is that you're going to get a lot of performance suspension adjustments and improvements that aren't necessarily visible from the outside. That said, you're going to feel it if you're driving on the inside. The Mach-E GT comes in at just under 5,000 pounds, which is insanely heavy for a vehicle this quick. This thing weighs more than an F-150 pickup truck. The Mach-E GT adds on Magna suspension, massive red Brembo brakes and calipers, and last but not least, a huge 91 kilowatt-hour battery, which gives the Mach-E GT around 280 miles or 450 kilometers of rear-world range. In this review, I'm going to be talking about the exterior, interior, performance, and handling utility before concluding my final opinions. So, let's get this review on the road. The Mach-E is definitely a unique looking vehicle, and apparently Ford engineers want to design the signal Mustang while at the same time looking different enough from its gas counterpart. The Mach-E is Ford's first fully electric vehicle and it was launched in 2021. It seats 5 and its lifted roofline and a larger footprint place it comfortably in the SUV category. For example, to open the driver and passenger doors, you press a button which releases the door and then you grab on the latch to pull it open. Very futuristic and unique. Most of the Mach-E is made from steel except for aluminum in the hood and fenders. On the GT, lighting is all LED based. The 91 kilowatt-hour batteries lie under the cabin, and they have temperature control systems built in to optimize performance. On the Mach-E GT, power is provided by 2 electric motors, one for each axle, which together provide around 480 horsepower and 630 foot-pounds of instantaneous torque. For people who don't know the difference in gas and electric cars, on a gas car when you press on the gas, it takes time for the engine to spin up and deliver the power. On electric cars, the electricity from the battery goes straight to the electric motors to provide immediate power. When it comes to the wheels, the Mach-E GT will come with 20-inch Pirelli Sun performance tires and black rims as well as gorgeous red Brembo brakes for maximum stopping power. The Mach-E GT is built for the track and has the performance to boot. The Mach-E GT will also have black fixtures throughout the exterior to contrast against the body paint and better exemplify its performance abilities. Now what's cool is that because the Mach-E is an electric vehicle in the absence of a gas motor, it's actually a watertight medium-sized storage container under the hood. If you're looking to charge the Mach-E GT, a charging port is available on the driver's side of the vehicle right above the wheel. The Mach-E can support up to 150 kilowatt fast charging. If you need to disconnect the cable, you just need to press the disconnect button. Because the 91 kilowatt hour battery is so large, it will take over 12 hours to level 2 charge the battery from completely empty. So now they've gone over the outside, let's pop inside and take a look at the Mach-E GT's interior. To start off with, the leather seating is comfortable and both heated and cool. However, I do wish that Ford had adjustable bolster support around the ribs. In normal driving, it's fine, but this is a track car and would have loved if the seats reflected that. On the track, great seats make a huge difference as they allow you to take lateral G-forces more easily around turns. Now I have to be honest, the interior of the Mach-E GT is obviously nearly identical to the standard Mach-E as they are from the same model line. Now when you're looking at a standard Mach-E, the interior is fine for the price, however when you're throwing around 100 grand for the GT, I do expect a bit more. For example, the buttons and fixtures are fine, but they don't feel high-end or particularly luxurious. It feels like a Ford rather than a luxury sports car, so it is what it is. Instead of leather or wood inlays, you get gray felt, which isn't exactly associated with luxury by any stretch of the imagination. That said, if you're a Mustang fan and into this kind of car, you probably don't care about the interior anyway, so take my opinions with a grain of salt. Adding to that, I wasn't a huge fan of the digital gauge cluster behind the steering wheel, which is essentially a rectangular screen. From here you would get your speedometer as well as vehicle information. I would have liked a full digital gauge cluster instead, which is generally where most of the competitors have gone. Now what is cool is that the huge tablet-like screen in the middle is home to the Ford Sync 4 infotainment system. From here you can control your infotainment system, which includes your media, phone, navigation, as well as numerous vehicle settings including climate control and heated seats. Sound is provided by a premium Bang & Olufsen 10-speaker sound system. The Mach-E GT also has a 360 camera in case you need to see around you in tight spaces, as well as proximity sensors that will detect nearby objects at low speeds and audibly warn you so don't ding your $100,000 car. On top of this, the Mach-E GT can actually parallel park itself without any driver input. The car will read data from its sensors and onboard cameras to do all the work for you. All you have to do is follow some easy prompts, and the car will back in or parallel park at the press of a button. In the rear, the Mach-E GT has a power tailgate, and you can knock down the rear seats if you need more room. So now that we've talked about the exterior and interior, let's hit the road and see how this monster of a Mustang does. To start off, the Mach-E GT has 3 driving modes: Whisper, which is if you want a really quiet and refined drive mode; Engage, which is the halfway; and finally Unbridled, which configures the suspension, electronics, and battery power system for maximum performance. There's also Track mode as well, which retunes the vehicle's power and braking dynamics for track driving. Funnily enough, you can deselect propulsion sounds. When you press on the gas with propulsion sounds on, the sound system pipes in artificial engine sounds. Why, you may ask? Well, it helps on the track to know how hard the vehicle is working, because unlike a gas engine, electric vehicles are naturally silent. When you're driving to work, you probably don't need propulsion sounds, but if you're driving on the track and pushing the car hard, I do recommend keeping them on, as they do give you a better idea of what's going on with your car. The first thing I have to talk about is just how powerful this car is. When you press on the gas, it's like you're on a roller coaster. This car can do 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, so its performance is on par with any gas-powered supercar. Because of this, it is a ride to drive this thing in a straight line. But as Uncle Ben said in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. If you're going to push this car, don't do it on public roads. You will literally fly into a telephone pole. Please stay on the track. It's that powerful, and I do say that as a warning to people who jump in this car and have no idea what they're getting into. But unfortunately, I have to be honest and admit the Mach-E GT is not a perfect track car. Because this thing weighs as much as a pickup truck, you really feel it around the corners. When you try to follow the curves of the road or track, you feel how hard the suspension and chassis have to work to keep the car heading where you want it to go. Furthermore, since the center of gravity is higher than a sports car, even with magnet ride suspension, the car does remain flat on the corners, but doesn't just feel as sticky as, say, a BMW M2 or a Porsche Cayman. I wasn't 110% confident taking corners at speed. In fact, if you don't trail brake properly going to the corners, the back end can actually start to slide out, forcing you to correct your driver inputs and thus drift a bit. If you want to, you can Tokyo drift this car. And maybe that's what the Ford engineers designed the Mach-E GT to do. On top of this, the stop distance with full braking is just going to be a bit more than a gas-powered Mustang GT just due to the extra weight. Even with Brembo brakes, the Mach-E GT is a lot of car to stop. In straight lines, the Mach-E GT is right at home, but I still feel around the corners and tight bends I have to give the edge to the lighter and perhaps less powerful gas-powered vehicles. Now in the rear wheel, where you're driving under the speed limit, the Mach-E GT is great. It has a tight suspension, lots of power, and the steering is competent. My only criticisms only come into play when you push the car to its limits, which I certainly hope you aren't doing on public roads. Overall, I think if you get inside a Mach-E GT and went for a rip, you'll love it. It is an all-wheel drive beast, which is great in the winter as well. As for rear wheel range, I was getting around 280 miles or 450 kilometers of range on a full battery. So I hope you learned something new about the Ford Mach-E GT. It's a super powerful car, and if you don't respect all of its 480 horsepower, you might get sent to the Shadow Realm. The things I like were its off-the-line acceleration, tech features, and practicality as an SUV, but the Mach-E GT lagged a bit when it came to the interior and also how it handled around tight corners. That said, the Mach-E GT is still a beast of a supercar and worthy of its crown at the top of Ford's performance line. Thanks again so much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like or a sub. Have a great rest of your day.